which is pretty standard to the regular Mermail Atlantean. Extra, it's Caddy, Scrap Drag, Gungnir, Librarian, Delorwyn, Armory Arm, Phoenix, Leviathan, Dweller, Zenmaines, Baja Shark, Abyss Trite, Big Eye, and 2 Abyss Gaios. Abyss Gaios is just a nasty, nasty card in the deck. A lot of people don't like him, they don't want to play him because they think it's bad, but a lot of people haven't had an Abyss Gaios drop on him. Now let's talk about the monsters here a little bit. Just some of the neat stuff you can do with them. Deep Sea Diva. I found a lot whenever pitching my Dragoons that I didn't have anything really to search. There'd be times where all I had in hand was a Dragoons and a Pike, or just something silly like that I sphered. I was forced into a sphere to defend, and a Lindy had already been played, and I'd end up pitching my Dragoons and not want to search a Megalo because there's no cards in hand, or something like that. And Diva gives it back the, well, I don't need to make a drop this turn, I need to make a small advantage play. And Deep Sea Diva really gives that back to the deck. And that's something I felt the deck was lacking a lot in testing, was the number of small advantage plays. Just dropping twos and stuff like that, it's a really good small advantage play, but it doesn't, it's not a consistent enough small advantage play because there's no way to search it. But Deep Sea Diva lets you make small advantage plays and very large advantage plays, so I decided to put back the Diva in. I cut Dying down to 1 because I learned that you only need, you want the Dying in Graveyard as quickly as possible. That's the only place it's good at, in Graveyard or coming out of deck off a Lindy, but it's best in Grave because you can just make silly plays. You can pitch a Dying and a Gun for a Megalo. Megalo's effect to bring back your Dying, or Gun's effect to bring back Dying, Dying's effect to bring back Gun. You have a little bit of Field Swarm here. Or if you have a card in hand you want discarded, you can bring back a Pike from Grave and pitch. You can bring back, or you can't bring back Pike. Dying can only get 3s, but I'm talking about with Gun here. You can Gun to bring back your Pike, Gun to bring back Megalo, Lindy, and your the big guy, Abyss Lead. Abyss Lead's really, really, really good. I would not recommend playing it in a standard Mermail deck because, of course, it takes 3 water monsters. And a lot of Mermail decks I've been seeing lately are only playing 2 of each except for Dragoons, which I don't think is very good. I don't even like only playing 2 infantry. I think you should max out on that kind of stuff. But I don't want to push the deck at 43. I have considered cutting out the 2 pots for a Dark Hole and an infantry. The deck's already sitting at 42, I don't want to just add anything in anymore. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Yeah, I think Gund is what really allows this deck to function as powerfully as it does. Because you can combo, here I'll show you just a quick easy combo you can do with the deck. You can pitch, let's see, you can pitch 2 monsters for your Megalo. Gun to bring back your Dying. Dying to bring back your Lind. And then you can normal summon a Deep Sea Diva. Then go through and get another Deep Sea Diva. And then you can synchro 2 5-stars. So that gives you a lot of power there. If you have 2 Divas in hand, you can summon a Diva. Go through, get your heavy infantry. Synchro these 2 guys. For a 5-star, normal summon your second Diva out of hand. Go through, get another Deep Sea Diva, and just keep making more synchro plays off that. You know, the deck has a lot of power synchro plays, and synchroing is what really just sets this deck apart from most decks in the format right now, because synchro monsters are 100% more powerful than Exceed monsters, just because of the fact that you can use them turn after turn after turn. And that's something that Exceed monsters really like, and I feel just running Exceed monsters in the extra deck in this isn't as efficient because you don't have just a 2400 body to negate whatever you want, like Dino Rabbit does, and things like that. But whenever you play Gund and Dying together, it becomes a Torghast effect. This right here, if you pitch a Gund for any reason at all, and you have a dine engrave, this becomes tour guide. Even if it's just something just simple like this. You have your dine engrave, you summon your pike, pitch gunned, go through your deck, search out another gunned if you want. You got the effect triggers to your special back, your Lindy, or your dine. Then your dine specials back your gun, and then you have a tour guide play right there if you need to. You just make a quick Zen mains, a Leviathan Dragon to get over a beater. You know, it's whatever you really need, or you can just push for a lot of damage right here. Because that right there is 3,000. That's 4 grand right here, just off that. So that pushes out a lot of damage really, really quick and easy if your opponent has nothing on board. Not to mention T-Use. T-Use comboed with these cards is just ridiculous good. Once again, you have that engrave, you pitch, T-Use's effect, you go through and search out a land. And then your gun triggers, pull back your dine pulls back gunned, then you can normal summon Lind, and that's just a nice little bit of field swarm there. That's even more damage than Pike. I don't know exactly what this is off the top of my head, but it's quite a bit of damage. Let's see, I want to talk about the Megalo lead combo, how good this really, really is. You need a Megalo, a lead, and a gunned. And this can be just easily set up by having this or this in hand with a T-Use and a Dragoons. And because you're playing Pot of Duality, you can set this up a lot quicker and a lot easier. But you pitch these two, special out your Megalo to go through and search out your sphere, gun to special back your lead. Now this seems like an okay play. Yeah, it's 2 big bodies on the field, and they don't get their effects because, of course, they're both on the field, you don't have anything else. But whenever you break this combo down and think about what just happened, you had to discard 2 cards to bring out your Megalo and search a sphere. So you replaced one of the cards in your hand. So you went 3 out of hand, then you went 1 back in hand. But you pitched a gun to bring a 2700 body to the field. And with that, you've mitigated that to a -1, which still isn't very good, but if you have a follow-up play like a lead that you can just drop on the field immediately, and then trigger the lead's effect to go through and search out, you know, a Pike or something like that to get another search, and you can normal summon that, and tribute off both of these guys, and dump a card out of your opponent's hand, and swing twice. I mean, these 2 cards together off of Gund is a really good, solid setup. And if your plays go through badly, main phase 2, your opponent drops a Gores or something like that on you, or a Trag, you can always main phase 2, tribute this off to make the Trag smaller. Something else I want to talk about. Conservative play. If you guys are playing this deck, you don't want to just go all out every turn. This deck has a lot of plays where it can just go all out and swing game, but it's hard to power through 5 back row in any deck. You know, don't try to just swing game even though your opponent's got 5 back row. This deck can grind out all of those back row really quick and easy. See, the trap lineup is small, but I want to add in 2 Mirror Force just for a little added protection. I was test playing against one of my friends, and he absolutely loves the deck. He's playing standard Mermails, and he was playing with this for a while last night against some Dolce player. And this deck just wrecks my Dolces. If they don't open the offering combo to swing game, then you pretty much have them every time. But I feel like a pair of Mirror Force in here would just give it a little bit of pushback power in case you do have a bad hand or something like that. 3 Salvage. This card is all too important in here because it makes this card instantly live. It makes this card 100% better because not only do you have pitch fodder for him, the monster you search out with him also has pitch fodder. So if you have, you know, a pair of infantries engraved, you can add back 2 infantries, dump 1, bring him out, go search out a Pike. Pike's effect, pitch your 2nd infantry to clear another monster off board. Then go search out another monster. So it's just a constant source of replacing and small advantage. And believe it or not, small advantage plays can win you game equally as easy as large advantage plays, like trying to OTK your opponent. Because when you try to OTK, you typically use a lot of cards out of hand, and if your opponent has a Gorge or a Treg, you really don't have anything to fall back on. I mean, it's a tough thing to do. But salvage helps mitigate that. That's why I think, not to mention, if you summon a Deep Sea Diva, and you go get any Atlantean from your deck, you have made all of 3 salvages in your entire deck alive instantly. You Diva into this, now your first salvage, you can get back these 2 guys. Say you open with the salvage, you bring these 2 guys back. Next turn, you can summon Marksman, or summon Infantry, summon Diva, go get Marksman. Sink into a Gungnir. Now your salvage can bring back a play for any situation that you possibly would have. Whether it be another Synchro, discard fodder for a Megalo, or a lead, or a Teuse. Salvage is a ridiculous powerhouse in the deck. I don't know why people only play 1. And standard Mermails, I played 3 in standard Mermails, I think it's too good. MST, as I was saying, I really wanted to add this card back in because it does leave really, really hard to macro if you don't have any way to get rid of the macro. I mean, but what people don't realize is don't just scoop whenever you're playing against a deck like that, because Deep Sea Diva is an up to Macrocosmos, believe it or not. You can summon a Diva, go into a Caddy or whatever you need, and you can just start swinging over their stuff. Not to mention if you have a Diva and an atlantean, that's your Gungnir. That's alright. That's an out in itself to a Macrocosmos. So you guys don't need to worry about Macrocosmos as much as you think you do, and same with Soul Drain. Deep Sea Diva is unaffected by Soul Drain and Macro, and this is just a devastating card as it is. I mean, you can synchro into a lot of different shit in it. But the extra deck, like I said, I put back in the Diva, so you have to play Synchros again, which is by all means fine. I love Synchro monsters. I swapped out my Gachi for a second Abysgios, because the deck makes Abysgios way too easy. And like I said, you know, if you guys get to playing around with this on DN or whatever, you know, just let me know how it's going. But whenever you drop a Gios on your opponent, it's a hard card to come back from. And I've been in situations where I dropped 2 Gios in one turn. My opponent tried to bait out the first Gios, which of course I had to negate. And then they tried to bait out the second Gios, which I also negated. And they went to a bigger monster to try to swing over these, and then they couldn't swing, just because his stars were too high. So Gios is a really, really underrated card in the deck. But that's all I'm going to do for this video. Give me some likes and some thumbs ups and some comments and stuff like that, and I'll do more discussions and stuff on the deck. But this is Brian from Team